of men. What are some of the signs of women
Like
peacock?
imagine everybody just spreading a little my real dad.
It's gonna be my ears. You know what I'm saying?
Physical
Ears,
strength.
like, man,
When I'm in my most painful moments, I think what is really helpful is using that time to say, okay, like, what is the lesson? What am I supposed to learn? What is actually causing me this pain? What is the deep root of this pain? And being so grateful that you even had that pain to tell you. Because really, a pain is a signal.
Peace, everyone. Welcome back
Peace.
to the Full Notice Podcast. Today we have a beautiful guest, special guest.
Widow.
She's coming all the way from Florida, so I'm really excited. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So if you could just introduce yourself to to our audience.
So, my name is Widow. I'm live in Miami right now, and yeah, I'm just an artist, an influencer, spreading awareness about love and living more of an aligned lifestyle, aligned with your heart space, and yeah, just decolonizing ourselves and going back to more of what's natural, kind of like what I'm focused on as an artist.
So you said decolonizing ourselves. Can
Yeah.
you kind of expand on that? I love that.
Yeah. So basically, since the beginning of time with our planet, there's always been, greedy people, and there's always like been people trying to create separation, like find reasons to divide us. And right now, there's a small percentage of people that pretty much like keep the colonized system running, and like this whole system, like the school system, the work system, like it's all set up to pretty much keep that system going and keep everyone as servants to the system, and basically like keep paying to live, pretty much like making living into kind of a corporation in every sense.
Yeah, it's literally people are literally corporations.
Yeah. Our social security, like, it's a business. Our IDs, it's a corporation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you know about that? So
Pay attention.
yeah. So I mean, to your, to that, your person,
Mm-hmm.
right? If we can distinguish between your living soul and your corporate self,
Mm-hmm.
a person, which is your corporate self, according to Title 26 of the U.S. Code, 7701 for those who want, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
It does say that a person is a corporation, a corpse being the root word of corporation,
Yeah.
it then being something that is dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
entering into a system full of death
Mm-hmm.
and destruction,
Yeah.
not living, even
Right.
I'm sure you know more than me about the
Mhm.
foods and
Yeah. Everything is kind of set up to influence us to live to die instead of living to live. Like,
Mhm.
the food that's advertised to us is very much in the death frequency. The clothing is vibrating at the vibration of dead people, like polyester.
Mhm.
The music talking about killing each other, like, and it's just the mindset really that people are in because of their environment. Like, people are just in the chaotic scarcity mindset because they're constantly having to survive, because we're literally paying to live, and we're in an environment where no one's working together. There's so much division and like opposite, like reversing our genders and whatnot, that takes away the abundance and creates the scarcity for everyone. And if we had newer systems that accounted for the natural flow of things, then people wouldn't be robbing each other. They wouldn't be killing each other. They wouldn't be in the survival scarcity mindset because they would already have what they need,
One of the things that that you said that kind of intrigued me was the thought, if we just went with the natural flow of things.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it's odd how we don't even grow, um, not grow, but we don't build alongside the planet. So, for example,
Mhm.
you know about the Fibonacci sequence, right?
Mhm.
But our structures aren't built like that.
No.
But the pyramids are.
Mhm.
It's like there's a
Yeah.
structure to the world, to the
Mhm.
universe,
Yeah.
that kind of flows with the natural order of things, but we kind of separate ourselves and build things,
Yeah.
in 90-degree angles, which is not natural
Right.
at all.
Yeah. That was a part of colonization too.
Colonization.
Yeah, like creating everything like a grid, like trapping people in boxes, keeping them, the way the houses are structured are to prevent the energy from flowing correctly.
No feng shui up in here.
No feng shui.
Yeah.
And they know that, like, going back to what's not natural with building houses with open concepts that have a lot of light coming in, the air is flowing properly. You have indoor outdoor concepts where you're actually immersed in nature at the same time that you're in a house. Like,
How's the air in here?
good.
Pretty clean, right?
Yeah.
I
It's
try.
nice.
We have a air purifier and all that. We try to keep the air flowing.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you say that, because when you know when you're in a closed room and you have dead air, if like, let's say if this place was dusty, you can see the dust particles like in the
Mhm.
air. Like if the sun hits it, you can kind of like see the dust,
Yeah.
and it's so bad for your lungs. Like
Yeah.
I would put on the air purifier,
Mhm.
and you'd be surprised, so much dust. Like when we first started
Mhm.
putting it on, like
Yeah.
it was just so much dust in the air that you're
Mhm.
breathing all this stuff in.
Yeah.
So it's like definitely, harmful. Literally everything.
Mhm.
Like you said, open concept, open houses. Just
Yeah.
natural. Like I said, a natural way of life,
Mhm.
is definitely the best. For people, I think in general, and
Yeah.
Okay, so where did this come from? Where did these ideas? How was your childhood like? Like, where did you get these enlightening kind of thoughts?
So, even when I was really young, I was really tapped in. Like, I understood that we were under a system that was controlling us. Like, I was very aware that everything that, like, the government was saying to us was a lie. Like, I could just tell that shit was out of whack, and I would just pray. Like, every birthday, I would wish for world peace. And when I got older, to being like a teenager, it was just really hard for me to accept, even like still like trying to be a part of this system and society. So I just went really far into my darkness and, you know, kind of drove myself to a point where I was like, okay, like I'm either gonna die or I'm gonna commit to living. And I made the choice to really live to live. And from that moment on, I realized that, money and material things, they don't equal happiness, they don't equal health. Like the what is advertised to us, the lifestyle, the like glamorous lifestyle that is advertised that like people want, it doesn't actually bring health or happiness. And I realized that very young because I kind of got into that lifestyle like of like fast money and you know just letting my ego pretty much run me, like working for my ego instead of doing what I love. And it broke me down, and in the end it leaves you with nothing. Like anything built on fear crumbles. And I realized that, and so I just pretty much spent the rest, like when I was 18 I realized all this. And from then I was just like, what's the point of life? Like, what is my purpose? How am I supposed to serve? Like, how does this work? Like, how does energy work? What are the laws? Like how does this shit actually, function? And I just like, the more I asked those questions, the more it was just revealed to me. So literally, whatever question you ask will be answered. You just kind of just have to ask yourself, like, what do I love? What do I love to do? What makes me happy? What's the point of my life? Like, really ask yourself the questions that matter.
What questions matter to you?
What do I love? What what serves me? What doesn't serve me? What should I hold on to? What people in my life should I hold on to? What do I need to let go of?
Are these questions that you ask yourself constantly, or
Yeah.
it's like a one time?
I mean, I feel like over the course of our life, like we find truths, but
Mhm.
those truths always change. So you're always constantly reevaluating. Like you think you know something and then you realize you don't know anything. And it's kind of just a cycle, and it goes deeper, and it's just a cycle of like figuring things out and then realizing you don't know anything, and it just like keeps doing that and getting deeper and deeper.
Yeah,
The more
absolutely.
you like stay on that.
What were your? I mean, I have so many questions for you because I've walked similar path.
Mhm.
What was the first step that you took in your you know in your quest for knowledge?
Cutting off distractions. Cutting off all super toxic people around me, cutting them all off, cutting off all the distractions in my life, and just putting myself back out in nature and really getting the codes like straight from the source. Like,
Can you expound on that? Tell us a little bit more about what cutting off people. Give me some examples, some stories. Tell me about your experience. Like, go deep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So truly, like when I say cut off people, like I don't mean like you're actually like cutting them off, like, so literally, but we kind of just have to, we identify like where people's positions are in our life. And some people we have to love them from a distance. So we create space. Some people we, have close to us. Some people we just work with. Some people are our partner. Some people are in our inner circle. So you kind of just have to figure out like where people are placed in what position. And you'll see that when you start to place people in the correct position in your life, your cells literally like will be in place in your body. Like the people around you are literally like reflections of yourself, like your cells.
Mm-hmm.
So the relationship you have with the reflections and the people around you will represent the way your body flows. And like the way you flow with the collective is a direct relation, like it'll reflect in your own body because
So,
it's all connected.
so you're saying like your outer world and your inner world kind of are reflections or mirrors of one another.
Yeah, they're coinciding. Like the spiritual and the physical, like they're coinciding. Like they're
I was It's interesting you say that because I was reading something yesterday about the soul,
mm-hmm.
and it if I can remember correctly, it said that the the spirit is clothed with the soul, right? Like a
Mm-hmm.
man's spirit or man, woman, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
is clothed with like your spirit is clothed with the soul, and you're actually not your physical body, but it's like you have two selves. You have your higher self and your lower self, and your lower
Mm-hmm.
self is your physical body ruled by lust, temptation, desire, hunger. You
Survival.
all the physical, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
all the even just thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain. That's all
Mm-hmm.
lower physical being.
Mm-hmm.
And then your higher self is something that doesn't die. Like there's
Right.
it's
Immortal.
yeah it's your it's your God form or your connection
Mm-hmm.
with the divinity or the
Right.
universe. So yeah.
I feel like just as much as you're not your body, you are your body. Like
Hmm.
just as much as you are something, you're not something.
Yeah,
So
that's
like,
like a law of nature.
yeah. So I feel like the like you are not your body like type of view and like way to live is very like delusional and can be really toxic
Hmm. Hmm.
because it detaches people from taking accountability of what's going on in their own body by just
Yeah.
saying, I'm not my body
Oh
or
yeah, I'm
I'm not
just a
my thoughts.
soul. I'm just a
Yeah,
spiritual
and like
being.
that is very like
Yeah.
imbalanced way to live. And I noticed that like in a lot of like spiritual teachings, that's pretty much like a lot of it is about complete detachment. And I think real spirituality is the balance of all, like embracing all, like both, embracing all of life and detaching from life, like being the everything and the nothing, and finding the balance between the two.
So let me ask you, like, I guess, a lawful question, a universal law question.
Mm-hmm.
They say that the universe is mental, right?
Mm-hmm.
The entirety of the universe is like just it's a mind. Ultimately, without the
Mm-hmm.
mind, there is no universe.
Mm-hmm.
So are, like they say God is the all in all,
Yeah.
you know, omnipresent,
Mhm.
omnipotent,
Mhm.
and there's another omni in there, but I don't know exactly which one that word is.
Mhm.
But point is, do you think that we are one?
Yeah. I mean, I know we are one. Like we have these bodies and we have an ego to allow us to perceive our physical body, and our ego allows us to perceive our individual personality, but energetically it's all connected. Like we're all one. It's all like a web connecting everything. And the like our separation, our view of separation really is just used to help us, but it's not to detach or like not be aware that at the fact that we're all connected and we are all one. You have to kind of just use your ego to help you
Mm-hmm.
figure out how you flow into the one. Like your ego helps you learn how you are a part of the one. So your ego literally is just to help you serve the one, the collective us. Like it's always been about us and being in service to all. To you, the way when you serve yourself, you're best serving all. Like if you can learn how you best serve, you will also learn how you best serve others. And those others really aren't others. It's really we, because we really all are connected. Like if you think about like the whole everything, like everything all together, I feel like I see it as like everything like breathing, like all together.
Mm-hmm.
Like my breath is like breathing with this room, and the room is kind of like,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
we're absorbing and becoming one all the time with everything around us, people around us, what we eat. So,
That's actually scientifically proven that there's something known as the proximity effect,
mm,
where if two atoms are close together enough, they start actually vibrating at the same frequency.
yeah, you
And
become who you're around.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you become your environment. That's why your environment is so important. To put yourself back into a natural environment will help decolonize you the fastest.
you say decolonize. I used to say detach, the program.
Deprogram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but and yeah, deprogram was what
Mhm.
I kind of, because you said you removed yourself from all things, and what
Mhm.
I did was one of the, I mean, literally, this is, I think, one of the most powerful things that someone can do if they want to kind of get to know themselves a bit more is
Mhm.
spend more time alone and
Mhm.
also don't listen to music, don't watch television, don't watch YouTube, don't do anything with technology. Just kind of, when the sun goes down, that means go to sleep. When the
Mhm.
sun rises, like, get your circadian rhythm back up.
Yeah.
That's kind of how when I first went along my spiritual, journey, and I was
Mhm.
trying to be one with nature, and I would take my shoes off and go plant my feet and
Mhm.
literally just, breathe and kind of appreciate, get up early, go see the sunrise. Like, little things like that
Yeah.
really, really built my spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say instead of letting go of everything, let go of what's not serving you. And
Mm.
keep what is serving you, because that's the thing with too much detachment. People become like schizophrenic because they've let go of too much, and now they're just lost and confused because they don't have any values, they don't have any foundation, and then your root chakra's out of balance. So you have to actually, you got to stand on something. Like you can't be standing on nothing.
Or you can't just be, I'm the
So
all, like, I'm out here.
yeah, completely detached. I'm
What, what's
nothing.
what's
I
the
have no
movie?
beliefs.
You seen
But
the movie Lucy? Is it Lucy?
mm-mm.
Lucy, when she becomes like the universe, or is that it? And there's another movie with the guy who he became so intelligent that he became like water at the end of, it's like probably ruining movies here. Um it's with that guy, man. You guys know the guy.
I don't know.
I don't know, but there's a movie out there with the guy. He's like he like gets into the computer. He's like a famous. He played in the Pirates of the Caribbean. That guy.
Oh, Shia LaBeouf? That's not his name.
Oh, man, I just.
What is his name? I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah,
The
Jack
pirate.
Sparrow guy.
Jack Sparrow, yeah.
He played, and he was
Wait,
like
that's not
this.
his name.
What was it? Johnny Depp. Yeah,
Yeah,
him.
Johnny Depp.
So
Yeah.
he became like became so smart because he transferred his consciousness into the computer and. Yeah.
Oh, actually, I think I did see that movie.
Yeah.
It was so long ago, though.
Yeah, it was, and then
I
he's like,
about
he like controlling people and all that.
Yeah.
It was like weird, but yeah, you know, I think that as you know, as we were saying earlier, being detached and deprogramming, you know, yourself can be very beneficial. Also, to push back on that idea, you know, how would we have the modern conveniences that we have if not through the enslavement of people? How would that work?
Yeah, so we wouldn't have the conveniences that we have, but are these conveniences really serving us, or are they just contributing to our death? Because if we did these things ourselves, we would probably be a lot healthier. Like if we grew our own food, if we filtered our own spring water, you know, if we restored the soil ourselves and actually like did things for ourselves, we would have healthier bodies.
They say that in order to make a pencil or a pen, I think, yeah, a pen, in order to make one pen, it takes the effort and work of 1,000 men.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of people.
People have to be on the same page.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts, right?
Yeah.
You need somebody out there.
So the first part of it is the knowledge. We have to spread the knowledge to people, because if people don't understand, then they're not going to be on the same page. But if people can understand what we're saying and we can get more people on the same page, that's when we can see a collective shift. But we can only do so much on our own. Like, and, you know, we can start small scale within our own tribe, within our own communities, of trying to go back to more of the indigenous lifestyle. Because, you know, monkey see, monkey do. Like once one of us does it, once a certain amount of people do it, other people just start to do it. And it's just kind of like a ripple effect.
When unfortunately, for those who try to spread this awareness and kind of the message and know what's happening in the world, I feel like they get taken out. It's always the people who have that wisdom, that is, you know, the wisdom of the ages, like
Right.
that knowledge, the sages.
I feel like in the past they did get taken out and like, or locked up, you know, but I think we're coming into a new age where the system's already crashing. They already don't have enough people working for them. You know, it's falling from the inside. Like they don't have enough time or people.
Who's they?
The people that are, you know, keeping the system running, the matrix running.
Let me ask, would Mark Zuckerberg, for example, be part of the they?
I don't know.
I would consider him part of the they.
I don't think we really know. Like we will really ever know like who those people are truly, because why would they show their face and tell us their name?
Well, yeah, there's families out there like, you know, the Nietzsche's, but there's a bunch of families, the Rothschilds, you know, we could go.
Right.
But
yeah,
you know, the reason why I say someone like Mark Zuckerberg is because of the wickedness that has come from the idea that he put forth. Or, you know, was it even him? Who knows? Maybe it was like CIA. Who knows? Right? But whatever he created, you know, Instagram, let's say, or he purchased Instagram for someone and then made it to what it is today, Facebook.
Yeah.
It's it hasn't really done the world more good than it has done bad. You know, we were as a people, I think, happier without social media in the past. Maybe we didn't see all the pictures and this and that and the third, but, you know, people were, you know, happier relationships. I think we're healthier.
I think it appears that way because everything's crashing right now, but it's not true. Like the internet saved us. The internet gave us a space where the whole world could talk. And that's the only reason why we're evolving so fast. That's the only reason why, like, yeah, eventually we'll get away from our phones and we won't be on social media. But really, we're on it because we're craving community. And so if we have community around us and we go back to a natural indigenous lifestyle, we won't have to crave community because it'll be there.
So let me ask, if we were to keep going through this trajectory of where we're headed with technology, do you think eventually we'll be, I mean, we could argue that this is like telepathy. You know, I'm speaking to you over you know, I could put whatever, use my phone and just call you. Like that's, you know, that's incredible technology. That's wild.
Yeah.
You know, that's like if people were, you know, 2,000 years ago and they looked at it happening, they'll be like, "Oh wow, that's telepathy."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's getting to the point where, I mean, today I sent a video to my cousin where a
Mhm.
guy had he had like a headset on and he was asking Google questions
Mhm.
without using his own thoughts.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'll send it to you. It's like one of those
Mm.
things where it's like, wait, what? Like
That's
he's
crazy.
asking Google questions using his mind.
Yeah.
So we are there already, and that's what
Mhm.
people are seeing publicly. Who knows what's
Mhm.
really behind the scenes? You know, they say government is like 100 years ahead of us, ahead of the public. Um,
Mm.
so it's like one of those things where it's like, is technology serving us, or is it, are we devolving as a society because of technology? Were we already evolved to, whatever point, how much evolving do we have left? Are we going to even recognize ourselves, when we make the next leap into emergence with technology? Because it's inevitable at this point.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I think, to a certain extent, technology has been one of the biggest parts of the evolution of our planet, but at the same time, the destruction. So, you know, whereas there is the best of something, there's always the worst. And I think eventually we're going to go away from technology and it's going to be more like our beings are the greatest technology we have and the
Mm-hmm.
most upgraded. Like, people are going to be more focused on cultivating their spirit, integrating their spirit, and cultivating their prana and making their being the most powerful technology they have. I think that you're gonna see people, go towards the merging with electronics and whatnot route, but that's not sustainable. Like,
Do you? Oh wait, you don't think it's sustainable?
yeah, like trying to go the unnatural way, that's not sustainable.
They say, and this is my own, and I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Unnatural things is kind of shady. There's a there is a there's a you know about like infinite energy and things like that. Like they say that there's Tesla created infinite energy and all that using magnetism and all this other stuff. There's I personally think that they have that technology and they've had it for a very long time, and they just use scarcity to try to control kind of how people are, and it's easy to make people do what you want them to do when you have the control, whether they eat, they don't, you know what I mean? They have a lot of
Yeah,
control over it.
literally though. Okay, so what people have to realize is a lot of the people that are the people are also the colonizers. Like, they have become the people that they hate just because they hate them so much and there's so much in their victimized mindset that they've been brainwashed and programmed to be, that they're acting just like the colonizers. They're literally colonizing themselves by creating separation and fighting against themselves and not working together with the people around them. That's exactly, what the colonizers are doing. And we have to take responsibility and accountability and say, we're all one. We're all a part of this colonization. We have to realize that we all have to stop contributing to it. Like, it's not even just this one small percentage anymore. Like, everybody is doing it.
What would you say would be the solution to the, say, one step at a time, right? Let's say, you know, what is the first step people should do, or if you were, president, what would you do? The first step.
I mean, just spreading the knowledge, really. Getting people to go back out into nature, getting people to learn who they are.
How are they gonna eat? Like really get deep. Like how? Cause
Like during the transition period, I think
mhm.
that, there's a transition from us going from depending on the system to depending on ourselves and just depending on our tribe. There's going to be a shift from us going back to, just buying land, building our own houses together,
buy,
growing our own food
buying
together,
land. Okay, so why buy it if it's just there?
because the system is still running everything.
Oh, so you okay? So we're gonna do
There's
this.
going to be a
Yeah, yeah.
transition where the system falls, but until then we have to play into it and like not like try not to play into it as much as possible. Like, don't feed into the system as much as you possibly can. Remove yourself, take the steps to make it so you can depend on yourself, so that you can be self-sustainable, so that you can, be self-reliable until the rest of the world catches up. You're still going to we're still going to be like partly involved in the system until everybody else can be on the same page. Because if we're being realistic, we can't run, all of the systems and things we need until everybody, more of the majority, is on the same page. So you kind of just have to deal with the transition period and be as self-reliable and self-sustainable as you possibly can, but accept the fact that during the transition, we're still playing into this.
I think if we can, I think there's one thing that will literally change the world overnight, and that is infinite energy, like sustainable energy, just like an infinite energy. I think that's the solution. If you have infinite energy, then there is no more slavery. Because why would you need, if you have everything that you want to, what can't you do with infinite energy? You're getting charged. Even the word charge itself deals with energy.
Yeah, but energy is already infinite. Really, it's just the awareness of acknowledging that it is.
Well, yes, I'm saying harnessing it. Like,
cultivating it.
Creating a device that can power a city forever, where you don't have to pay electricity.
Right.
Creating a device that,
But that's not going to run everything. That's only going to run electricity.
Yeah, everything is a conduit, though. Like, name me, you could say, and literally anything that you do, we can take it down to literally the joules that you're using to even move your body. Like, your body is literally running off electricity. It's,
yeah, but it's not that simple that you could just like have something that like, controls everything and does everything for you. Like, that's not realistic.
No,
us as humans are gonna still do everything.
Okay, I'll give you another example. If you're buying gas, imagine you take away gas. You don't have to buy gas no more. You have this little device put in your car, and now your car can run forever. Now it eliminates the need for you to have to get gas. If, let's say, flight, for example, what if there's a device that could make you get, you can fly wherever you want as quickly as you want. Imagine how quick, and there's no need for trucks now, because we can, if you want something, you just go get it, come back. It's just.
But what about like planting plants and picking them and cooking food?
Yeah, you could do all that.
All those things.
You could create mechanical things to do it, or you can do it yourself.
Though?
You don't have to do it. Yeah. You can do it yourself.
Yeah.
But the point is, you no longer have to work for living. You no longer have to work because everything becomes free.
Yeah, we already have access to that though.
Where?
Like, there are people that still live an indigenous lifestyle.
Yeah, but they're.
I mean, not here, not in America.
Yeah, but they're.
Really.
They're not living like a modern life.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I think that we can upgrade. We can make things more modernized and nice, but still be self-sustainable.
I agree.
And still, like, free electricity, free gas, like, solar, using the springs and the creeks, the wells, and using the compost to convert into gas.
So I'm gonna
assume. We can have all the things.
I'll assume that you are not you're not you don't want to depopulate the world, right? You're not with that. They say there's people, Charles Schwab's and Bill Maher, another guy who like they're for depopulating the planet and taking it from the 8 billion that it is today down to 300 million, I think they say.
Wow, that's a huge.
Georgia Guidestones, I think, say 500,000.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think that nature will wipe out the amount of people that is adequate to properly rebalance the planet. But I don't think we're going to get wiped out to 300 million, no.
Do you think, we potentially could just get wiped out completely if an asteroid comes?
I think that, the Earth is going to take care of itself before humans destroy it. Like, the Earth is not going to let humans destroy it all the way.
Right.
It's going to fix itself. We're going to die before the Earth does. Trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all the natural disasters, like, the pollution gets worse. The natural disasters, fires, tsunamis, earthquakes, all that shit happens because nature is cleaning it up. It's fixing it, it's rebalancing it.
So where did we go wrong as a civilization? What, what do you think happened?
I don't think we went wrong. I think we need it all played out perfectly because, okay, you got to think that Earth is very young. Okay, so we literally had to go through this long phase of separation and division to learn what doesn't work because if we don't know separation, we won't know oneness. So we literally had to figure out what didn't work in order for us to now come into a place where we're figuring out, okay, well, what does work? How can we come into oneness? And this is the first cycle that the Earth has really completed. And there are so many other planets.
When you say cycle, what do you mean? Cycle rotations around the sun?
So basically every so many years, however many,
26,000 years around the sun.
Much longer. Like
But when you say like, what do you mean though? Like, are we cycle would be like around the sun? You mean like the Earth going around the sun?
I don't know how to explain it. I wish I read this recently, but I read it a long time ago. But
Because
basically,
like, we go through the zodiacs, right? We go through the zodiacs, and that's considered an age, I think, or it might be even considered a cycle. Because I think we're in the Aquarian cycle. Yeah, they're considered cycles. So when you said that, my mind went there.
Yeah, I mean there is like a lot of different like cycles and phases, but
yeah, what do you mean by that? Like, I thought I was.
So I'm pretty sure it's like the ancient Mayan. Do you know the Mayan people?
Mm-hmm.
So the way that they tracked the cycles of the Earth, basically they found that Earth would complete its first cycle in the year 2020, and that after the first cycle completed, that the Earth would now be going into a golden era, a golden age, which basically parts of the planet have had golden ages. There have been parts of Earth that came into alignment in certain parts, but never the complete planet all at once. Right now, we're in an era where the entire planet is coming from separation into oneness.
Doesn't feel like that.
It doesn't feel like that because we're in like the big purging phase of it. Like literally we are purging the pain that has been built up from all this time, from the whole cycle. It's all coming up now. And it's a lot. Like everyone that's alive right now, we have the most important jobs. Like this is the hardest time and the best time to be alive because we are now transmuting everything. Everything, we're transmuting it into love and back to the foundation. Like love is the foundation. It's the foundation of the universe. It's the center of all. It's what centers us. It's the center between the physical and the spiritual. Like it's the main building block for everything. Love. And basically, we're transmuting everything back into balance that doesn't align with the natural flow and the natural placements and, things being centered and driven by love and the oneness mind and the consideration of all, the flow of all, the health of all is what we're transmuting all of that fear-based, ego-based, like evil mindset. Yeah.
So, I mean, I want to get into love. Today's
the
love day, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
But before that, I would like to ask, do you think that men have anything, like, what's the role that men have played in the destruction? Is it all, like, men have destroyed? Is it a collective? What is our mind causing the chaos? Is it a specific mind, like maybe a specific group of people that have specific mind because of their environment, where they come from? What are your thoughts on that?
I think since the beginning of time, like from like wherever the first humans have started, like there has been evil people and people that were trying to and implement slavery in a way, implement greed and just like control. And there have always been people that were trying to implement oneness and love. And what was the question? Sorry.
Yeah. Who is it? A specific mind from a specific area? Is it
Oh,
a devolved kind of man, or maybe what if they're more intelligent than? Because they do say that the majority of people are useless eaters. That they're just people who are consumers. All they do is
Yeah.
consume. They don't
Yeah.
really add any value to the universe. They don't add value to
Yeah.
people. So
They're
could
not
it?
in service.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not in service to the
They're
world.
broken.
So
Yeah.
could it be that that be the case?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's like a collective ripple effect. Like, we're products of the people before us. And, there's been certain amounts of people that, fell into the ego life and the colonized life. And then there's been certain people that didn't. And, majority does, because it's all, it's not even just this country. It's the whole world. The entire world has.
Anywhere where there's fiat currency, the world is in destitution. That area is destitute.
I would feel like most places are colonized.
Yeah, anywhere where there's money. What I mean, fiat is money. Anywhere where there's anywhere where there's money, money is the root of evil. So I didn't, not currency. Currency is not the root of evil. Money, like fiat, actual dollars, people worshiping,
I don't think it's money that's evil. I think it's people's relationship with it that's evil. I think it's people's mindset that's evil. Like, you can make anything evil. It's not really it that's evil. It's your relationship with it that's evil.
Okay. That's actually like a response that I would have, like, I could see, that's actually, I could see you say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let me ask this question. Okay. So, people's perspective is how much value in your opinion, should people place on the perspective of another?
How much value should you place on someone else's perspective?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it depends on how close they are to you and what position they're in.
So, example, let's say that I am I don't know, I want to collect cow manure. That's what I like to do, to make statues out of clay, whatever, cow dung. That would be kind of weird, right? But let's say that's
that was random. Yeah,
it's really that's wild.
Yeah,
right. But let's say like that's what I like to do, right? However, it's weird. Should we? I mean, should I? Someone who may, that may be my thing. Should I even care about what people think, or should I just do what I want to do?
I think it's a balance. I think you should do what you love, but you should care what people think. Like, don't care so much. Like, care to an extent that's healthy. Don't let it control who you are. Right. Still be yourself. But yeah, I think you should value other people's opinions, because a lot of time it's really other people are you talking to yourself.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so it's you talking to you.
What are some of the things that yous has said, that have changed you? So what are things that people have said to you? People have
said to me?
Yeah, that have kind of like inspired you, changed you, like anyone specific that was kind of like a spiritual guide, or someone that kind of, awakened your spirit to things. Or...
And I've had so many people along my journey, but someone recently, my sister Star, she really inspired me. I was kind of going through a phase where I just wasn't sure how to express myself and like show my healing journey, and just I wasn't really sure how to step into my power as a leader and like speaking about like my journey. And she kind of just like showed me how easy and simple it could be, and that like I could just simply show what I do. Like, it's not that complicated. And
can you expound on it? I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, so she basically just told me like, I don't have to just show like the parts of my life that look all perfect and amazing and like, the highlights. I can also show the things that I do that get me there. Like all the things that I do behind the scenes that actually build my foundation, that allow me to even show up. Like people see me as like this amazing, like beautiful goddess glowing, but they don't know what I did to make myself that way. So what she was getting at was like, how could I show people like how they could build their best self in themselves? How could I show that more?
Right.
Instead of just the product, I'm showing the journey that got myself to this version.
What do you think? Like a lot of women. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people just in general, but specifically women. Do you think a lot of women need to heal? And if they do, in your opinion, heal from what?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, shit, we're literally thrown in a world that is super masculinized. Like women need to heal from being overly masculinized, because the way that the system is set up is like, it doesn't account for the women's cycle, right? The women has four seasons every month. We go through all the seasons of life every month. So since the school system doesn't account for that.
Can you explain that? That's interesting.
Yeah. So basically when we bleed, that's winter. When we ovulate, that's spring. And yeah, so we have the
those are two. Wait, hold on.
We have the other ones. They're the other ones. So it's 1 week. Each of them is 1 week. So I can't remember like the names of the phases, but
and what does that do? That deals with the moon, right?
Yeah. So all women that have a womb are following the moon cycle, and basically, the moon is going through, it's waning and waxing, becoming full, and
conjugation phases and all that.
Yeah, dying. We're going through death and life, the full cycle of life and death every month. We're going through all the seasons every month. And basically when we are bleeding and when we are in the fall, the week before our bleed, it's a time that we're supposed to be resting and doing less and staying home and focusing on tending to the temple. We're not really supposed to be working. So the way that the school system and the work schedule is set up is to take away the natural moon cycle, to force us to now be active every single day like a man. And because men don't go through the same cycles, they're more built so that they could work every day, or maybe not every day, but they need to rest, but they could work every day because the way that the chemicals are built in their body is set up so that they can. So because the men are supposed to focus on providing for the women, and the women are supposed to focus on, nurturing the temple more. And like women, yeah, we all have masculine and feminine energy to us, but we have these physical bodies that determine what cycles we're in. So if you bleed, you're in the moon cycle. Like if you're a man, you have testosterone released every morning for a reason. We have these cycles for a reason.
Yeah, I was wondering why I wake up every morning kind of strong.
Yeah. If you don't, if you don't have your morning wood, like it's a sign that you don't have, like, your balance, your power, your life force energy is drained. And a lot of the testosterone is lost because when you're ejaculating, the more you ejaculate, the more estrogen is released in your body as a man, and the opposite for a woman. So literally, the more you ejaculate, the more you become feminine, and the more you lose your life force energy, right? And that life force energy is the energy you would have used to provide for yourself and for your woman. So naturally, now you're demasculinizing yourself in that way too.
Or women.
Or women. Yeah, you don't really have to be in a relationship to play your role. Really, playing our role really is about playing our role with everyone, with the society, like with the collective. You can be gay, you can show up however you want, you can do whatever you want relationship-wise, as long as you understand your role and like your cycles, like your natural flow. Like, learn about that. Learn about how that flows into your relationship with the collective and how those cycles.
Is there any books or like what guidance can you give people to kind of get into that information?
I'm writing a book right now, so wait on that, because I don't really feel like there is a lot of books that talk about that. I mean, you could do your own research.
Can you grab that book right behind you? The one next to the red one that says Asian. This
one?
Yeah, the one next to it. That one, yeah. I think you'd appreciate that book.
Yeah, this is cute. Healing the feminine body, mind, and spirit. That's the thing. A lot of these spiritual teachers and a lot of these health gurus are men that are leading the spiritual revolution. We need women to teach the women because women are the natural spiritual leaders. Men are the natural leaders of the physical realm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of backwards. Like, it even goes like deep to that. Even the spirituality is colonized. Like, even the spiritual teachers are, the advice they're giving is masculine advice. So it's still masculinizing the women because they're giving advice. They're like teaching these women like, oh, you need to do this every day. You need to have all this structure. You need like that's masculine. Like, women are supposed to be more wild.
Let me see. So, excuse me. Everything that you're saying, I thought maybe you were gonna pick this book up and say, "Oh yeah, I know her." But everything that you're saying, I mean, like, skim through this and tell me if it's not something that's like that you can vibe with.
I mean, just by looking at it, I would read this. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like what I'm gonna be writing about. Basically, how to like, I'm gonna write another book, but just mainly focused on how to heal yourself, like holistically, and that's what kind of this book is focusing on. But the book that I'm reading right now is more focusing on, instead of focusing on just the physical and like all the tedious things to heal yourself, it's more focused on how to heal yourself from the programming first. And then I'm gonna add in like kind of all the like, you know, learning about the herbs, learning about the organs, learning about the chakras, learning about which emotions attach to which parts of your body.
Chakras.
Yeah.
Can you explain that? What are chakras, and you know, how relevant are they in like your daily life? I don't know.
I mean, so basically we have energy points all over our bodies. We have a lot of chakras, but we have
meridians, like you're talking about, like the prime meridians.
Right. So we have 7 main chakras, and, you know, we have the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And each of those chakras connects to something different and relates to something different and relates to different, like, emotions. And if you do your own research and you look at what an imbalanced root chakra looks like, or what an imbalanced sacral chakra looks like, you can kind of identify like what illnesses are connected to which chakra. And you can see how like your relationship with those like certain aspects of yourself and certain emotions that you have like directly are connected to the physical illnesses that you have. So a lot of people that have a lot of shame and a lot of guilt and just like a lot of sexual shame, you'll see that show up as, you know, a lot of cysts in their ovaries, erectile dysfunction, STDs. You know, these are all things related to shame and like guilt. Like the
shame, like actual, like I'm shaming somebody for doing
like you feel you feel shame, like the emotion of shame, like
they like internally they feel shame.
Like
okay
the emotions that we store in our body can literally manifest into acidity and manifest into an illness from there, because the base root of all illness and disease is acidicness in our body. But really the acidity is manifested through the emotions and through the stress in our body from these emotions.
I was having a conversation. Are you familiar with Dr. Sebi?
Yeah. Yeah, he was a huge part of my journey for sure.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with his daughter like 2 weeks ago.
Wow, that's fine.
Yeah, and very enlightened being, very spiritual. She sent me an email. I have to respond actually now that I think about it, but you know, you're absolutely right about the acidity. I think, you know, we're like batteries, right? Yeah. And if we want to be charged, the best thing to do is have energy flowing through our bodies. And if we have like an alkaline, you know, diet, alkaline lifestyle, probably helps with our energy levels, with our productivity, our thoughts. You know, thoughts become clearer. Yeah. Emotions become more observable. You know?
That's like a baseline. I feel like restoring the pH balance of your body is the baseline for sure to the like the physical root part of your journey, and then it's also like your sexuality. Your relationship with sexuality is gonna determine a
Yeah.
lot. Like you're not gonna get past your root, which is the first chakra. That's the beginning. Like if you don't heal your relationship with your sexuality, you're not building on anything until you get past that.
I want to ask you a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
You do like tantric yoga stuff like that, and you're very comfortable. I would assume, I don't know, with your sexuality, with your nakedness. It's like you're comfortable, right? I'm assuming. So, what are your thoughts? How? I mean, is that what does that do for you? With regards to what we were just talking about, being I guess bypassing or getting through to your root chakra.
Yeah. So basically, our sexual energy is our creative energy. So it's controlling how like what we eat, what we cook, how we dance, how we talk, how we get dressed, like how we work. It's controlling like pretty much all these expressions, because it's creative energy is literally just like how we're creating life. It's the it's the oneness. It's the orgasmic, like it's the like the constant like merging that's always happening. Like that's the sexual energy. So when you have a healthy relationship with your sexuality and you're actually expressing yourself from your heart space, your sexual energy is not staying from an egoic place. It's not staying at the root. It's traveling up to your heart and centered in your heart space, and you're actually balanced in your heart space. Now you're expressing your sexual energy from a place of love, and it's genuine, authentic to you. So if you are, dancing the way you want to dance, creating the art you want to create, getting dressed how you want to get dressed, now you're using your sexual energy in a healthy way that serves you. A lot of people are so afraid to be themselves, their sexual energy is trapped, and then it manifests into something toxic. It manifests into them being addicted to porn, or like, addicted to masturbating, or, the opposite. You don't have sex at all, like just completely detached from their sexuality, won't even touch themselves. Like, it manifests in some toxic way if you cage it in and shut it down. And that's what a lot of religion does. And it's not even just religion. Like it's a lot of society does, is to shame sexuality, make it seem like a bad thing that we need to control and contain, so that people don't tap into their power. Because a lot of our power is coming from our sexual energy. And when you learn how to express your sexual energy, you're actually taking your power back. And that's what, that's what they do. That's what.
So let me ask, because I find that women find empowerment in sexual energy, right? Like that's a power that women have. Obviously, men want to have sex with women like every day.
Yeah.
So, what is it about because men have sexual energy also, but you don't really see men, walk around like
being authentic.
No, well, I'll say this. I'll say this. When I was in college, I had my V cut, my abs, all that, and I never felt the need to just like walk around with my shirt off all the time and kind of like, I knew that it was something attractive. I knew that if I did do that, like girls would look, and it was attractive to women, right? And I could feel the energy kind of shift when I would. However, I just never felt that like, oh, I'm gonna use this to my benefit type of a thing. Whereas women who are attractive tend to use that sexual energy to receive energy from others, and to create lustful thoughts, or maybe they're not doing it consciously, but the people who are observing that woman who may be expressing her sexual energy may becoming lustful or lust after her,
Mm-hmm.
because women are beautiful and
Mm-hmm.
men do want to procreate with women. So
Mm-hmm.
um I guess my question is, where why are why the sexual energy, why focus that much in attention to the sexual energy, opposed to, I don't know, the solar plex, or the crown chakra, or whatever. Well, what is it about the sexual energy that draws specifically women towards like using it so much?
As far as like sexual exploitation, I think that's what you're talking about.
No, well, I'm just saying, like, well, what do you mean by sexual exploitation? Like,
like
who's exploiting who?
like so a lot of the system has taught women to exploit their sexuality, right?
Mm-hmm.
To use it to advertise porn, to advertise, sex sells, like that type of thing. And it's sad. Like, it's really sad that that's what the systems have turned it into, because a woman expressing her sexuality is a beautiful thing. It's very powerful, and it's very healthy, and it's very healing. It's very healing. It's actually, one of the most healing thing you could actually do is to actually genuinely express your sexuality from your heart space in a way that you actually love to do it. But the second you exploit yourself and you're doing it for money and you're doing it for an egotistical reason,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it's toxic and it's draining, and you're devaluing yourself. You're taking your power away, actually. The more that you feed into what's authentic to you, into what you love, and express your sexuality in an authentic way, you are multiplying and magnetizing your power.
I'm sorry. Are you cold?
Mm-mm.
Okay, because I'm a little cold. My feet are cold.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna turn this on. Could you let me know if it's making a lot of all right. Because my feet are cold, so
Okay.
I just didn't. My bad. I'll edit this out. But
You good? All right.
so, all right. Thank you. So my next question, with regards to that,
Yeah.
is the harnessing of the sexual energy, right?
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to be as conscious as you are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like, I'll go on your page, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can see like your spirit. Like, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
in my lower self to the point where I'm just like lusting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, like, if I show that to a friend, or
Mm-hmm.
they're, oh wow, well, you already know.
Yeah. Yeah. Jewelry popping off.
It's like a magnet.
Oh.
So yeah, so one of the things that I wonder
Yeah.
is, does the attention from being that confident, because there's a confidence there,
Yeah.
you had to probably develop. I'm gonna assume it's not something that was just like, unless it was natural for you, I don't know.
Mm.
But I'm sure that I've heard enough about like women
You're good.
like kind of having to talk themselves up to being able to be naked or whatever in front of people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So how was that journey for you? Was that difficult to do, or, to get to that point?
Yeah, I mean, it was super difficult because growing up in an environment where you're told that, you being naked is one of the most like evil things you could do. Like, you're a slut, you're this, you're that, you're a terrible person, like you're just disgusting and gross if you show your body. And, it's because that right there puts a lot of shame on us about our natural body, and it creates a lot of sexual shame, and that keeps us in a lower frequency and easier to control. And that is a product of colonization, because the truth is, like, our naked body, that's what's natural. That's how we came into the world. Like, us being naked and sunbathing, that is one of the most healing things you could do for your body. there's a reason why they made being nude so bad, because it's one of the best things you could do. It's one of your best healers. So
I'm all for it. I think the world needs to heal.
yeah.
If there was one thing that everyone needs to do, well, not guys, but women need to heal, just get naked, right? I mean,
I think men and women,
no,
especially
Come
the
on,
men,
hold on, whoa.
especially the men. Like,
Nah, I don't think so. I don't. Men could chill.
hear me out. We absorb the most sunlight through our genitals.
Yeah, but men aren't, like, it's not attractive
So
to see.
when you sunbathe your genitals, you will be more charged up. If you spend 30 seconds with your genitals in the sunlight, you will be more recharged than if you got sunlight on your body the entire day on any other part of your skin. So you don't have to, you don't have to be naked in front of everybody. Go find your little spot, vibe out, but be okay with your nudity.
I don't know about that. That's like a thing. I mean, I'm all for women
Product
doing.
of colonization is the thing that it is.
So you think that
I mean, look at the indigenous cultures. They're out naked in the river taking their baths like it's normal. It's not a lustful sexual thing. It's normal.
not
It's natural.
No.
It's just healing.
I don't think all.
Yeah, they are.
Not all. I'm
Yes,
Native
all.
American, and my ancestors were not butt naked out there in the river.
I guarantee you they were.
No, I promise you.
Okay.
Like I'm like real Native American, not that fake bull, nonsense. Like I'm legit, and we had.
If you want to be a healthy human, you have to be okay with being nude.
Really?
Yes.
I mean,
like that's a part of it. That's a big part of it. If you cannot release your shame with your own naked body.
Are you a nudist?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. A big part of my healing journey, I was naked. Like letting go of all things.
It's
amazing.
Too, yeah,
it's amazing. You're detached from everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than that. It feels so feels like you can breathe. Feels like all your cells can finally breathe.
So for the women that may not have the confidence to do that, how would they overcome? Because I'm starting to see a movement here, and I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Be nude.
I would say put yourself around women that are more confident.
But it's centered around sexual energy. So, but why though is my question. If nudity is not a sexual thing,
because the colonizers made it that way.
No, but I think
to make it.
I think if women walked around with naked, their hormones, their pheromones would men would walk around with erections just all the time. I don't think that's natural.
That's not really what I meant. I mean, like, okay. Right now we're living on top of each other. What I'm more so I'm talking about, being nude out in nature. Where you have space.
But like
you
away
have your
from
own
people.
Space. Yeah, like you don't need to go into the grocery store naked.
Oh, I was thinking like, okay, naked society. Like I'm thinking movement. We're doing like how like people march for like Black Lives Matter.
I'm thinking there is an awareness of okay, not everybody's here yet. Not everybody's in the place where they're not sexualizing nudity. There is a lot of people that don't sexualize nudity, and I can be naked around certain people, and it's fine and it is normal. But, most of society isn't there. Most of the people are weird about it. So.
No, you have to have a certain level of maturity because, yeah, you're right. There are people that are, like, me personally, I don't care what people do. Everybody could get, but I literally, it's not my, like, I could care less.
I'm the same way.
You know what? You know what? One of the things that kind of helped me become, like, I guess that's spiritual, was, I did ayahuasca, and that for me was very transformative. I was, I was already spiritual to begin with, raw vegan at the time and all that, like very committed to self. And when I did that, it definitely opened up my eyes to having, I guess, empathy and just relating to people, and like I try to observe the world from like your eyes and see how you're observing me, and then
Yeah.
you be a reflection to that, because
Yeah.
everyone's on their own, especially spiritual people. Spiritual people are very creative. Some people are very weird, and they do certain things, and I'm just like, oh, that I would never be that guy. That's weird. Like, you're a loser type of shit. But there are your normal people, that are very enlightening. They just give you light, give you energy, give you positivity. But not everyone. There's a lot of weirdos out there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend. I mean, it sounds good, but being naked around a bunch of weirdos is probably.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm not saying that you said that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if in my mind, the way I was thinking about it was like,
Yeah.
society get naked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
sounds good, but that would probably be really problematic.
Start out by going naked in your own backyard or like in your own house, even.
What about like the
room.
peeping toms? And are you afraid of like any of that?
No.
No.
I don't care if people see me naked. I mean, as long as they're not coming up to me and like I can't really see them, it doesn't bother me. If people are like harassing me, then yeah, that would be weird.
Have you ever had like any of that?
The only time that's happened to me was in Miami Beach on Oliver Beach. People are like really weird there.
Is that like a nudist beach or something?
Yeah, it's a nudist beach. But I don't know what is up with the Miami culture. People are fucking toxic and just misaligned and just sexually very like over hypersexualized in Miami, and men literally would just jack off on the beach, like literally in mid public daylight. And it's crazy because where I'm from in California, being nude is normal. Like, you go to a beach.
I knew you were from California.
There's always a nude section to every beach that you go to in California, and that's just normal. We're just like, oh, people are sunbathing. They're getting their charge up, sunbath, whatever. Like, we don't look at them. We don't stare at them. We definitely don't go up to them and jack off.
What people did, like in
but in Miami, yeah, people did that.
What?
Yeah. People something is wrong with Miami, bro.
Yo, well, I think I think people have a lot of demons attached to them, a lot of negative thoughts. They're in their lower self. Call it whatever you want. Their chakras are, their vortex is like the complete opposite. They're not,
I'm grateful I grew up in a space that was, I feel like it's ahead of the rest of America.
You were, what part of California?
The East Bay area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she's from Santa Cruz.
Okay, not too far from me. Yeah,
so
hour and a half south of me.
You guys had, I know it.
Yeah, it's
you
a
got
vibe.
that Cali vibe.
People in Cali have come into a more place of acceptance, I think, in alignment than the rest of the country.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's ruled by the goddess Kali, and then it's also the earth.
That is not good.
The earth's root chakra.
So you think Kali Yuga is a good?
Shasta.
You think Kali Yuga is a good god to be ruled under?
Well,
she was chopping heads off and wearing heads as a necklace and stomping on.
For a reason.
Okay, so let's explore that idea a little bit.
Yeah, because she's the goddess of destruction.
She was tempting men. Tempting. It's not even like these are just regular guys being tempted and then sacrificed. How is that? I mean, that's my realm.
I don't really believe that. I feel like like the real goddess of Kali, like whatever stories they told about the goddess Kali, whatever, but I feel like the real goddess of Kali, she is in charge of destroying what?
Have you read the like the texts? Like, have you read her like actual the stories? Her story and
I've read them all, but it was so long ago that I don't remember.
Yeah, well,
but I need to read them again.
Yeah. She was wisdom, there's no good and bad, but she was definitely not part of the good. I would say that.
I mean, well, like, everything has its place, everything has a purpose. Like, if we want to build something new, things have to be destroyed. So yeah, it might look ugly. It might look ugly that, she's reflecting how people are back to them and like engaging in that behavior. And
she was a literal demon. Like, it wasn't, you say goddess, but she was portrayed as, I guess she was a goddess, but she wasn't a revered goddess. It was fear involved. It wasn't like people were like, "Oh, she's the best." No, she was tempting her subjects and enslaving and then killing men specifically,
Mm.
transforming into okay, but I'm all for
either way.
yeah.
Cali is also has the Earth's root chakra.
Yeah.
So everything healing starts with the root. So I think that Cali is ahead of everyone because it's starting at the root.
Back in the day, this is the last thing I'll say about Kali Yuga.
Yeah.
They said that when her spirit is on the earth, it's the end of times because she, what is it? She perverses like the land that she's in, and I agree.
What does perverse mean?
Perverse means she makes things perverted. Everything is sexualized, like what we were saying. So when she was saying about like she like has her tongue out, right? And the tongue is the oldest organ, the second oldest part of your body, the heart being the first. And then out of your heart comes your tongue, literally.
Wow.
So being that your tongue has, it's like your heart also means mind, right? Like transliteration of it. So they say that the power in the tongue, blah blah blah, like it's your mind. It's a whole metaphysical thing there.
Yeah.
But they say like she takes her tongue out and is perversing. So it's like casting. If I had to put it in words, casting spells on people with the tongue. And then when you look at society, like you see women twerking, and then they take their tongue out. But it's not like they're doing it for like, it could be a positive thing, if they're gyrating their body for a positive reason. But what you find is it's usually sexual, and then they're doing something sexual, and then they're taking their tongue out, and they're not seen as though it's such a noble thing. It's not. It's like actually looked down on. It's like, oh, she's twerking. Like that's not.
Yeah, because the colonizers has demonized sexuality. That's like what keeps it. That's what keeps us in shame. That's what keeps us from not having our power.
So you think women should?
I think everything is already sexual. Like everything that's creating life is already sexual energy. Like sex kind of is everything all the time. It's
so
always...
for example, this looks eerily similar to a male part.
Yeah, well, think about it like this. Okay, what is sex? Merging together. And what are we doing with everything around us all the time?
Even Siri wants to get involved.
Yeah.
Shut up, Siri, before I knock you out.
So we're constantly merging with everything around us. What is that? Sex. So we're constantly having sex.
Let me ask a question.
So
now
everything's sexual.
Just a kind of thought that I just had. Would it be if Siri's a woman AI, or let's say whatever, and I like slap Siri, like slap my phone, would that be like at some point, is that gonna be in the metaverse? Am I like a woman beat or something? Like where is it gonna go? You know what I'm saying? Like,
are you talking about just like with people being like really exaggerating?
Or like if we were in a relationship, right, and we were in the metaverse, and I hooked up with another metaverse chick. We got to make sure she's a chick though, because it's the metaverse, So we got the documents. She's a girl, right, on the other side of that. And is that cheating? Like, would at some point do you think that we're gonna consider that cheating, or
like electronically cheating?
Yeah, like digital cheating. Like your avatar cheated on my avatar because you hooked up with his avatar, and we're supposed to be married in the digital universe or something like that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. Because technology is getting to that point where people are starting to be more engaged with technology on a sexual level. Like women are having literal sex with plastic. Men are starting, and I don't really think it's like a thing for men, but men do have the plastic vaginas that they're having sex with.
It's very
plastic
much a thing.
dolls.
Men are having sex with their phones. They're watching porn. They're not even having sex with a real person.
Well, I think
that's men more than women.
I think, yes, I agree. I think that men, This is crazy, but you're right. I think men that are having, I,
Hmm.
I don't want to equate the two. I just think they're both actually they're both wrong.
Yeah.
Like porn is wrong. Corn, YouTube. Corn is
Mm.
wrong, and also like having a dildo is wrong. I think that those two things are both equally as bad for our psyche.
I think that if you use a crystal wand, that it's very healing. But
I
if you use something
I
plastic,
I
then I
don't
could
think
see how that would be
anything that
detrimental.
I don't think anything that goes in there that doesn't impregnate is probably not natural. Like having
But what
sex
about
with a
your
rock.
fingers?
No, I don't think that's good. Cause think about it, the that's like masturbating.
Think about your
We're
genitals.
saying that
Think
you're,
about your genitals as a muscle that needs to be stretched out. Why would you not stretch it out?
so you're saying that men should masturbate.
Yes. I think everyone should masturbate. Everyone should.
But we were just saying about harnessing your cultivating your spiritual
Yeah,
energy.
it's a balance. It's a
So
dance.
maybe not masturbating and
As much.
or masturbating but just not releasing the
To
energy.
ejaculate, exactly.
Yeah.
Practice your semen retention.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you shouldn't engage in masturbation at all. It means that you should just conserve your semen
Yeah.
and,
I think that's
practice. Explore yourself. Like, don't, like, the whole thing, like, demonizing masturbation and sex toys and all that. I don't think we really need to do all that. I think we really need to just get people to explore themselves, explore their body, get to know their body, get to know their spots. Like a lot of times, the way we have sex and our relationship with sex reflects our relationship with our entire life. Like for a lot of people, sex is a performance, and for a lot of people, their life is a whole performance. And when you get to know yourself sexually and you get to know like all your spots, like you're also getting to know like it's not even just about the sex and like those spots. It's also about like what hits for you in other spots. Like what is orgasmically, like what kind of intelligence is creating, like what kind of truth is creating like an intellectual orgasm, or like even
Have you ever had an intellectual orgasm? What is that?
yeah, like you feel like something and just like someone just says something that's like so like true, like it's so resonating that it feels kind of like an orgasm.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got something. Don't squirt all over the place, but this is it. Ready? Water is wet. That's a truth. I mean, that's undeniable right there.
Yeah.
It's not deep. That's not deep. The water is wet. Is not. That's not it.
Yeah, it's not the way. I feel like it's when you have those major epiphanies, like someone says something that finally helps you connect the dot to something. It's very orgasmic.
Okay, so something deep. I got something. Let's see. So planets have gases. I forget the name of prominences, called prominences. So planets have gases, right? These gases that are released on that planet affect how people's moods are here on Earth. I don't know how. I mean, I'm not like an astrophysicist, but apparently, that's the thing. People, like I said, I think they say when, for example, when Mars is visible to the eye, then mosquitoes are around. But if Mars is not around, like mosquitoes are not around.
If you want to know the real news, pay attention to the planets because they're influencing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's science. So do you know about how to observe planets? I mean, what is that like?
Yes, I mean I've studied all the planets.
What's your favorite planet?
Venus.
Why is Venus?
I'm a Libra. I love romance. I love luxury, pleasure, beauty. That's me.
Something about astrology is there's something there. I mean, I don't know what it is, but there's definitely I don't think that the personality traits. I mean that is probably I mean I guess that may be true. I don't believe in all the horoscope kind of stuff, but the science of it I think is there is something there with regards to telling time. I think that's really like for me at least I would be interested in really digging deep into that whole like the time telling and where we
Right.
are in the universe,
Yeah.
and
I mean, that's how we've kept track of everything as the planets
yeah.
and stars.
I think also the in the Bible it talks about the God, right? But if you really dig deeper, there the Elohim, and there's multiple gods, and if you dig beyond that, there's archons, and if you dig into what archons are, that at some like, they say that those are planets, planetary bodies. So like planetary bodies being angels, or like you get into the occult of it, and it's like the
Yeah.
planets and people, and when you look at certain things, people start worshiping Saturn for some reason. They say that the black cube of Saturn being at the Mecca, and it's like all this stuff. Do you know anything about that kind of stuff?
I mean, I don't know anything about people worshiping Saturn, but I know that.
Saturnalia, it's called Saturnalia.
Mhm. I mean, I know Saturn, it rules over like all the change and like the big time changes, like kind of like the Sandman. I feel like,
The Sandman.
yeah, like the Sandman, like controlling all the time and like, like the character of the Sandman. I feel like that's kind of what Saturn
The
is.
Sandman, like the movie with the killer, the guy who's
No, like Sandman, like the guy with the
with the
time
time
thing and the sand.
okay, yeah. I thought that was
Yeah.
Father Time.
Yeah, Father Time. Yeah, Sandman, Father Time, whatever. That
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like Saturn.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good point, because
Yeah.
Saturn is also known as Kronos in Greek mythology.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, chronology, Kronos. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, basically, our birth charts, our numerology charts, our human design charts, like it's all codes to our personality.
So what is the most profound? Like, if you had to say, this is the deepest knowledge that I have, I don't want to share it. What is that?
There's nothing I wouldn't want to share.
Okay, well, what is the deepest, like, for you, the thing that you say that, like, everyone should know this piece of information? Like, what would that be?
The balance between masculine and feminine energy.
Can you expound on that? What's deep about that?
I mean, it's the structure of the atom. It's the structure of everything, basically. What everything is built upon is masculine, feminine energy, and the product of that, the manifestation or the child, the trinity, the masculine, the feminine, and the child. So if you understand that, if you understand the true,
So, like, positive, negative,
yeah.
What is it?
So
Electron.
yeah. So masculine being the proton is giving energy, providing the energy for the electron. The electron is creating the reality around the proton and basically is multiplying and magnetizing it. And those two energies together is what creates the manifestation or the child or the neutron.
Dang, there's something that I just recently read about quantum. I'm gonna draw a blank here. It's a quantum configuration. It's something scientific. So something I was looking up, but it basically was talking about how magnetism and electricity are used in such a way with, I don't know, whatever. They were just running numbers, so they're doing the theory on it. They were just running numbers and saying that there's a possibility that hyperspace travel, I guess, like, just like how we would assume like UFOs are traveling, that deals with like the universal principle of the masculine and feminine, which would be the masculine being the electricity and the feminine the magnetism. So yeah, that's actually study of that would probably be extremely profound.
Right. So if you are a man and you understand what a man's role is as a dominant masculine, and if you're a woman and you understand the role you have as a dominant feminine, that's when things start to come into balance in your life. Like, you can't really, like, okay, the man is providing, he's leading, he's providing structure, rules, guidance, like focus and direction in the physical. And the woman is providing the reflection and the guidance of the perspective of everything that's happening, whereas the man is focused on one thing at a time. And the woman is magnetizing and nurturing and bringing life and magic and magnetism. The woman is the main receiver. The woman is the main one pulling everything in. The man is the main giver. It's the main one pushing. So positive energy is pushing, negative energy is pulling. That's why negative energy is more attractive.
And do you think that energies are can there be too much like feminine energy? Like let's say, you know, two instead of it being a man and woman, it's like two women. Would that affect the I guess that flow of manifestation? Would it enhance it, make it stronger? Does somebody have to be
what do
the
you
balance
mean?
between
What
there?
do you mean? Like, what do you mean two women? In what context?
Like in a relationship?
Oh, in a relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course it's gonna make a difference. But I think as long as you're playing your role into society, I think that's what matters the most. As long as your relationship to service and the collective is in alignment, yeah, I think you can kind of have sex with whoever you want. But
Mm.
I mean, there's people that would disagree with me and like whatever, but I don't think we're like all meant to be the same. I think that we can have different perspectives and different lifestyles and different ways we want to present ourselves, different ways we want to relate to people, and that's okay. That's a part of our exploration. But
Let me ask you a theoretical, or not. Let me ask you like a question about
yeah,
like, do you think people should have the knowledge to make nuclear bombs?
I mean,
Just how we all know how to, maybe like
I don't really
change a
think
tire. Like people know about how to create a nuclear bomb.
I don't really think that's up to us.
What do you
Like,
mean?
should we know or should we not know? Like we can't really like decide if that's like right or wrong or good or bad. Like it kind of just is what it is, you know.
But for you, like
Mm-hmm.
using your reasoning, do you think
Yeah.
that would be a good thing or do you think that would be a bad thing?
I mean, I don't know. I think that it depends on what the timeline of the planet needs. Like, okay, if the Earth is in a timeline where it needs something to be bombed, then it will happen. But if it's not, if it doesn't need to happen, then it won't. But what needs to happen will always happen. We can't really like decide like this is what needs to happen. This is the right thing. Like we kind of just have to trust that
Do you
the
think AI is like a net positive or a net negative towards the towards society as a whole, our species, because we're speaking spiritually now,
yeah.
but what about when machines are sentient? Do they have now a soul? Are they spiritual? Are we going to sit down and meditate with a machine? Can machines meditate? Like,
I mean, we kind of already are, right, with our phones.
no. I mean, yeah. What I mean by like a robot machine
Yeah.
kind of sitting there and
I
saying,
mean,
"Oh, I just
I
astral
think
traveled."
in certain parts of the timeline, the AI is what was needed for that part of time, and like it helps us in certain ways. But I think that it's also detrimental. Like there's positives and negatives to everything.
Do you think humanity will exist in the next 100 years?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think merging with machines gonna kind of?
I don't think that will like actually turn into a big thing. I think the system is gonna end up crashing before then, and like all
AIs?
systems. I think we're gonna go back to what's natural and what's indigenous. I don't think we're gonna. I think like we'll start to go that direction. There will be a lot of people that are fighting the evolution of society, and there will be a lot of people wanting to stay into what's not natural, and that's okay. But the majority of people, I think, we're gonna start gravitating back to our roots.
So like going to the bathroom in the bushes type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, you cool with that?
Yeah, it's better for our planet. I mean, we're not really supposed to be peeing and pooping into the ocean. We're supposed to swim in that.
Really?
Yeah. We're supposed to be, putting it back into the soil so it can actually heal the soil.
I knew you that. I mean,
It makes sense.
yeah, it does. It's like we're fertilizing.
Yeah, it's like hella dirty to be swimming in piss and shit water and pollution water. That's like, nah.
So
And trash. Like, we're not supposed to have trash. That's a product of colonization.
trash.
Yeah, we're not supposed to have trash.
So the creation of hydrocarbons being plastics. You'd say what plastics we shouldn't really have plastics.
No,
So like our bowls and stuff should come from like
natural.
yeah.
glass,
I
wood,
can see that.
clay.
I can see that happening. I just think that in order for that to be a realistic world, we would have to have infinite energy. Cuz it's not, if not, then how would someone, let's say you wanted strawberry, lemonade,
Hmm.
whatever,
Yeah.
and strawberries are only like in Florida at the moment cuz
Yeah.
like up north there is no strawberries.
Hmm.
So we would have to be able to get you the strawberries, but if we're all in our natural, you know, and we're not polluting, we don't have cars, like how are we going to
Hmm.
get the strawberry juice to you? We would have to have some kind of way to, how would we do that? You know what I'm saying? Like
Like
where
if someone wants to transport something
no
in a
no
far
just
distance.
just no, just more so, what is natural and what is unnatural. Like should we be riding horses, right? I mean that's not natural. How would I get you that, those strawberries before they go bad, you being a 4-day journey on a horse? You know what I'm saying?
I
It's
think
like,
that people need to start eating what's local to them. They don't need to. Why do you need to go 4 hours to get food?
so then the people that are in Russia and Poland, they're gonna come down, which already
People are
happened.
gonna migrate to areas that make more sense to survive and grow food. Yeah.
And then what happens with the people that are indigenous to that area? We what, now we go to war?
No,
There's only so many trees in an area.
I mean plant more trees.
Yeah, but then it's not gonna grow.
Why would it not grow?
Well, you can't. You could try to plant some strawberries right now, but they're not gonna grow.
Plant something that will grow. Why do you need to have strawberries?
Well, then how come you get strawberries and I don't get strawberries?
Because my environment is favorable to them.
But if I try to go over there, it's too many of us now. I can't. How are we gonna?
We need to spread out. We can't be on top of each
So
other.
we all can't have strawberries.
I mean, unless you travel to a place that's growing strawberries.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, we need to eat what's local to our environment, to what's local in the actual seasons. The food that's gonna be the most nutrient dense and fulfilling for you is what's growing locally.
Yeah, but I think I want strawberries all the time. So it's like messed up if I can't have strawberries and you get to have strawberries and I gotta go to you.
I think that you'll see that life is a lot more fulfilling without those little conveniences and needs. Like we don't really need that shit. What we really need is love. We need a loving community.
So okay, let's like talk about love real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I guess how long have we been on? What's our time? 1:36. Okay. So let me ask you about love real quick. What is love to you?
Love is the most powerful and most healing energy. It's the foundation of all. It's the center of all.
How,
What everything is built on.
how do you experience love?
Through the elements, through the people. Like the most purest forms of love is coming from, water, fire, air, earth, the people around us, the animals. Like it's all, we're made of the elements. And, you're going to feel the most love if you go out into nature, if you drink some pure water, if you take some deep breaths, you build a fire, you lay in the sunlight, you're around loving people.
What about the varying, like how, like does love have degrees? Is there just, should we love everyone, or is it like respect? Do you mean respect, or do you mean like literal love, like love?
Love. I think everyone deserves to be loved. I think we should love everyone and see that everyone is a part of ourselves. And in order for us to work together, we have to love all. Because if you don't love all, then there's also a part of yourself that you don't love. Because your relationship with the collective is a reflection of your relationship with self.
Should love be conditional or unconditional?
Unconditional.
Even those that hurt you deserve love.
Yes, but you need to put them in their place. There should be boundaries. Shouldn't be sloppy.
Do you love a lot? Like, do you have a lot of people that you love and have boundaries on, or do you unconditionally love a lot?
Yeah. I mean, I love everyone. I unconditionally love everyone, for sure. Because I love everything. I love all of me.
Right, right.
You really can't love all of you until you love everyone.
So you would say, in order to fully love yourself first.
Yeah, it's all connected. Like, in order to fully love yourself, you also have to love everyone. In order to fully accept yourself, you also have to accept everyone.
What kind of got you to, I guess, I would say is like in that learning process, would forgiveness be like a factor in your ability to love others, even those that have hurt you?
I think forgiveness is a byproduct of after you finally express these lower frequency and negative emotions, forgiveness just comes. I think you need to focus on expressing whatever hatred, resentment, whatever you have, express it, let it out. Scream,
That,
write about it, dance, stretch, do whatever you need to do that releases your energy.
that's interesting that you say forgiveness is a byproduct of the the
Releasing.
releasing like of something. So if I'm hearing you correctly,
Mm-hmm.
if people do something negative towards you,
Yeah.
then as a result of the negativity for yourself, the
Mhm.
byproduct of that is forgiveness, right? Or that would
Yeah.
be like a byproduct of the situation is forgiveness.
After you, well, first it would be okay. Now I feel negatively towards them, and
Yeah.
then it would mean be I'm expressing this negative energy into something else to transmute it, and then I would feel forgiveness towards
Yeah,
them.
that that made a lot of sense to me. That was
Mhm.
actually very profound
Thank you.
because you have to have a spiritual self. You have
Mhm.
to be an observer of yourself, right?
Yeah.
And then as you observe yourself and your reaction, your emotions towards something that may, somebody may do something negative towards you, and then you have to like think about it, observe it,
Mhm.
and then you decide, oh, I'm gonna resent this, or I'm gonna be mean towards them, I'm gonna reciprocate it, or
Mhm.
I'm gonna forgive. And a lot of people who are enlightened, they always say, like, turn the other cheek kind of thing, like forgive people, kind of move
Let it
past.
go.
Yeah, let it go, move
Some things
past.
you just don't need to hold on to it for that long. Like sometimes you just gotta let it roll off your shoulder.
How would society operate if we all just was like loved like that? Like what about
Things would be in place. Things would be flowing. People would actually be playing their true position, and things would be so abundant because we would have so much that we wouldn't even have to work that much.
would we
Because
only focus on tilling the land? Would it that I mean,
I think we would focus on all the type of things we focus on now. It would just be people are now in the correct position. A lot of people are playing the wrong position, and a lot of people are playing positions we don't need.
I'll give you an example of I mean what I kind of see when I hear you say that, right? It's like when I travel to countries like Aruba, for example, that's a place I've been,
Mm-hmm.
and people there, they have their small island. Their
Mm-hmm.
resources are like more limited, obviously,
Yeah.
than other places, and the population kind of makes do with things that are in their environment. A
What
lot
they
of
have.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it kind of makes like you'd be surprised. Like this guy, he makes little statues out of rocks, and this other
Mm-hmm.
guy, he's making baskets or whatever,
Yeah.
and those people seem to be fulfilled
Right.
doing those things, opposed
Right.
to that same guy could be in the city and now he's a stressed out accountant or a
Right.
stressed out investment banker.
Yeah.
You know,
Corporate jobs
yeah,
that were just products of the system, not actual jobs that we need people to do. Like we need more people to do real stuff that we actually need, like
planting,
planting,
farming.
farming, doctors, nurses, actually holistic herbalists, like people holding space for healing, artists, entertainers that can actually put intelligence into their art and put powerful messages into their art. It's not just egotistical, shallow things, because art is the greatest influence of the whole world. Like the whole world follows art, so the artists really have a lot of power in the influence. And so if people can just put more like authenticity and intention into what they're doing, yeah, I feel like a lot of it goes back to you being authentic. Like people just need to be authentic, be real.
Be their authentic selves. It's
Yeah.
hard for people to do that when they don't know exactly who they are yet.
Yeah, a lot of people. Well, people just need to start asking, like, to ask the questions.
To to the universe.
Yeah, to whatever you believe in, but the everything around you is always like working for you, like God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. It's always working for you, and there's always like this omnipresent intelligence that we're connected to, and it's our intuition.
What of people who have different views? Let's say I don't know, people who worship things that may not be positive. What about, what of those people?
I
People
mean, we
like
can't.
the cartel. Maybe they.
Right. So we can't force people to heal. Right.
What do we
So
do with those people?
we just
Lock them
keep
up.
them at a distance. Well, I mean,
Exile them.
whatever their karma is gonna be is gonna happen to them. I don't really know like what that's gonna be. I'm not like here to like decide what the karma is gonna be for everyone, but I think that we just need to focus on cultivating with the people that are ready to build, and like let everybody else kind of fall in line after that.
Like to think that there was a time when we didn't have prisons, right? Where
Right.
like we didn't have prisons or insane asylums. Like people were
Mhm.
just out in the world.
Yeah.
To think that, what if some guy was like, just killing people, and then he would travel to the next town and kill a bunch of people, and there's
Yeah.
no prisons, so it's like going back to a time where, evil was still like, I feel evil is always gonna be present, and we have to find a way to kind of contain it
Put
because
it in its place.
yeah, because like we may
Yeah.
have a loving spirit,
Mhm.
we may be peaceful people.
Yeah.
There's always just those people who
Yeah.
who may not have our best interests.
Right. Yeah, there has to be boundaries, and we have to put people in their place. And yeah, people will receive the karma they deserve. Yeah, I don't really feel like I will be the one to like be deciding all of that. I think more of my purpose is focused on holding space for people that are ready to heal.
And let me ask you, are you planning to be a mom and things like that?
Yeah.
How is that gonna change like your life, and what do you what do you think about that? Like motherhood.
Can't wait. That's all I really want to do. I mean, like I do want to like help spread knowledge and like hold space for people, have retreats, have a sanctuary, all that, have a tribe. But most of all, I want to create, life. I want to create community. I want to raise our kids together. I want us to just enjoy life and just like be free and not have to work to live and just like build family. Like that's what it's about. I think family is the most important thing.
Yeah,
That's the
I
whole
agree.
point.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That kind of ties everything to
Mhm.
like what the universe is really about, which is, oddly enough, it's about unity.
Yeah.
It's really
union. Everything is a collab. You
You
ain't
need-
did nothing by yourself.
yeah. You need two, at least. That's like minimum to survive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't really take on the world alone.
No.
And
Yeah, you can't do anything alone. We're not in this alone.
feel for the people that feel alone.
Yeah.
Do you so I know you have you dance and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You do healing through your dancing, right?
Yeah.
And what's that like, and how has that experience been for you?
Oh wow. It's been so deep. I mean, as a dancer, like it involves a lot of stretching, and a lot of like releasing. So when you're stretching, you're literally releasing like all of this pain out of your body. Like you're literally stretching your cells out, and you're becoming stronger also because it requires a lot of strength to be a dancer. So you're strengthening yourself, and it's all connected. It's all very mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. Like as you're developing yourself as a dancer, you're also developing yourself in all these other ways. Like you're flexible as fuck now physically, right? But you're also flexible in all areas of your life. You're flexible to change all the time. Like whatever you're doing in the physical is very much you're working on yourself in the spiritual too, in a sense.
It's a discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline.
And it's deep. Like it's deep. It requires like a lot of strength and just a lot.
You came in and you started doing handstands. I was like, oh shit, what's going on here? You just did a handstand, and then I timed you. You didn't know.
Really?
I was in there. I was like, 1 Mississippi, 2 I was like
I was upside down for like 6 minutes earlier today.
I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
this girl's in
Yeah.
shape. Like I knew you were in shape. You
Mhm.
you know, if I look at your Instagram, obviously.
Yeah.
But then when to see it in real life, I was like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
okay.
I
I almost did push-ups because I felt challenged a little bit. But I was like, no, that's the ego.
Get your push-ups, man. Nah. I mean, really, everything I do, also like came from a bunch of steps before that. Like, you know, I did yoga for so many years before I started dancing. And doing yoga built my body awareness so much that when I did start dancing, it was easy to learn it.
People who do yoga, and this is just my observation. There's a yoga studio like right there.
Yeah.
Right, and very strong-minded people, very focused. Like
a lot of discipline.
Yeah, to go and do yoga once in a while, you could be anyone.
Right.
But to be someone in yoga every day, like it's a discipline.
It's a discipline, yeah.
And that's how you attain. You know, I did when I was like I played football and I was like really good at football. And I remember going to a yoga practice one time and I was just like, man, these people ain't doing nothing. Psh, I could do this.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Ego beyond belief.
Slapped you in the face, huh?
Man, listen, 2 minutes into holding sunflower pose, I was like, yo. The girl next to me was like cool. She didn't even break a sweat. She was breathing, and I'm like, I'm sweating, but you know the ego. Like my arms are shaking, and my legs are shaking.
Yeah.
But I learned to definitely have a lot of respect for people who practice yoga, because that is not. It's not an easy, like, it's just not going to be, it's not an easy thing. It's actually hard, very challenging.
Right. It's like, you know, it's very, like, spiritual at the same time that it's physical. Like, yoga is, like, I feel like it's a blend of, it's like your physical meditation. Like, it's a blend of it all. Like, you're, you know.
Have you always been flexible?
Yeah. I mean, there was a point in my life where I got really stiff. But I broke out of that.
Well, when you've probably been more flexible than the average, right?
Yeah.
So when you say really stiff, I mean I'm trying to envision. I'm pretty flexible. Like I'll go ahead and I'll grab my leg and be like, "Yo, what's up?" No, I'm not that flexible. I'm not that flexible, but I'm not bad. I can touch my toes. I mean, shoot. There's a lot of people who can't, right? However, I've always wanted to like do a split, right? Or just be able to really put my like head on my knee when I stretch or whatever. Especially when I was an athlete. Now I'm kind of like 20 pounds overweight, but back in the day, I would still try to do my thing. And I never got to that point, but I stretched every day as an athlete.
Yeah, I feel like you have to have assistance. Like I noticed you can only stretch so far on your own. Like literally you can only do so much on your own. You need someone to stretch you.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because the second someone touches you, your cells are already going to start relaxing deeper. Like you're going to go way deeper with someone stretching you than you ever will trying to stretch yourself.
Well, to your point, what I ended up doing was like one of the things that I found that helped me out a lot was I would take a breath, right? And then I would like get bands and like pull, let's say I get bands and like as I release, I'd get closer.
Yeah,
I'd get
the deeper you
stretch.
breathe. Yeah.
So
So a combination of deep breathing, really doing the right postures, and someone helping you. Yeah, you can go really deep for sure. But I would say that like the amount of like improvement you could make with someone else helping you is drastically. I would say it's like 70%, 80% more efficient than someone that does it all the time. Like, yeah, it'll be 20% as efficient.
I'm pro yoga.
Yeah, me too.
I'm pro yoga.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No. Yeah, I mean, I'll be releasing a book soon, so watch out for that.
Can we get a title?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be calling it Sacred Sexuality, Decolonize Your Mind. And it's going to be...
Oh, man, I thought it was going to be... I met Ra, so yeah, check this book out. Nah, that ain't it. Another corny joke. I'm throwing corny jokes out today. It's Valentine's Day. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, I want it to be a part of a series. So
like you're going to, like...
So I want the series to be called Sacred Sexuality, and the first book is going to be about decolonizing. So.
Sacred Sexuality, and then the first series is Colonize. And what is
Your mind,
the teaching of the book will be about like sexual
going
energy?
back to what's natural. Yeah, and like so explaining how your relationship with your sexuality correlates to your relationship with everything in life, pretty much.
I feel like there's so much to unpack there, right?
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot. That's why I'm making it a series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a
It's
lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah, like I mean, I could put people on game all day. It doesn't matter. Like people have to experience the truth for themselves. So I'm just giving people like a baseline, but they ultimately people have to apply the knowledge in real life. Like if you don't apply it in real life, you don't really know anything. Like it's not really wisdom until you really truth has to be experienced. It just has to be experienced.
So would you say, like, for women who engage in, let's say, women losing their virginity, is that a meaningful thing, or is that not? What would you attribute to that in your philosophy?
I mean, I didn't even think about that, but I feel like losing your virginity is very meaningful. But it's only as meaningful as you make it, really, and that's kind of with everything.
You always say some really like something that I want to say something about it, but when I really think about it, you're right. It's like you attribute it as you put your own.
Yeah, we put our
meaning,
own. It's all about your relationship with whatever. Like it's all about the relationship you have with it. Like nothing is really good or bad. It's just it serves you or it doesn't. So figure out what serves you. Figure out what doesn't. You're always gonna be negative. You're always gonna be positive. You're always going to be both.
Right.
But it can serve you. You can express your negativity in a healthy way. You know, you don't have to do toxic ass shit. You could use it for inspiration. You could use your pain to inspire your art. You could use it to inspire your workout. You know, turn your anger into a workout. Turn it into dancing. Turn it into a conversation with a friend. Like, learn how to make things serve you. Stop letting them run you.
Do you, and final question.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about you.
Yeah.
So, do you have any stories or like example of like a situation where that you went through that required you to use, like your
negativity?
No, I think your wisdom, like your life practice, right? Like an example of how something negative may have happened to you, and then you use this, like, your philosophy, your way of thinking to kind of heal or
change through it. Yeah, I feel like I go through painful stuff all the time, and I think that when I'm in my most painful moments, I think what is really helpful is using that time to say, okay, like, what is the lesson? What am I supposed to learn? What is actually causing me this pain? What is the deep root of this pain? And being so grateful that you even had that pain to tell you. Because really a pain is a signal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think if you can look at it as a blessing, you're always going to come out on the upside.
Man, you should be a philosopher.
I am.
Oh, you're writing a book.
I am. Like, I'm literally trying to transition myself into being an author. Like, I mean, I am. I'm not trying. I am doing it.
Yeah, you are doing it.
Yeah, I'm tired of being an entertainer. I don't want to keep posting, like, transitioning into being more of a wife and a mom. I just want to be an author. I want to be with the tribe. I want to focus on community. I don't really care about being an influencer, entertainer, stuff like that. I don't care about being famous. None of that. I'm just trying to, spread the knowledge.
You give me natural. I have another friend that I'm going to show you. And you give me her vibes. Yeah, like real natural, serene living in, like, so she lives in Costa Rica. So interesting. Anyway, we'll talk more about that as we eat. Yeah, because I'm starving. So yeah, guys.
Smoke and eat.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate everyone who took the time to watch to the end, and we will see you guys on next episode. Thank you. Peace.